course, we are still back here in Baguio. Kasama niyo pa rin kami, ang inyong Queen Kada, Trisha Bersano, and
your schoolmate cutie, James Ramadan. Ay, alam mo na, is cutie. Yeah, is cutie mate, James Ramadan.
Yan. And of course, yung feels pa rin natin ay nilalamig. Naiinitan at
another episode ng Baguio Vibes episode.
Correct. At syempre no, dahil nandito pa rin tayo sa Baguio, iba naman yung pag-uusapan natin because we are still back at it again at our 10th year anniversary with Schoolmates. So biruin mo yung 10 years na. Coming from our previous episode kung saan pinag-usapan natin yung kultura and of course, environment, which is a very crucial topic, especially in such a place as Baguio. Pag-uusapan naman natin yung involvement ng mga kabataan when it comes to environment and climate change matters dito sa Baguio City. Yung mga Cordillerans, their active participation, ika nga. So, of course, malalaman natin na with the recent na nangyayaring weather events, no, isa nga ba ang Baguio sa mga pinaka-vulnerable na lugar sa in terms of extreme weathers? Yung mga tanong na yan ay masasagot natin in today's episode.
Kaya para tulungan tayo, mas maunawaan kung ano nga ba ang dapat nating gawin at kung ano nga ba ang climate change, no? Tutulungan tayo nung kasama natin ngayon na expert with the sa larangang ito, Sir Dane.
And of course, kasama rin natin ang ating mga guests na si Jomar and Raven. Yes. Also, hi, hello. Grabe, mas privileged ako talaga.
Nonchalant. Parang nahihiya na ako magsalita.
Nonchalant and
so, nakaganyan lang siya sa atin.
Ayun.
Okay. Nahihiya na magsalita yung mga tao.
Okay, nahihiya ka pa talaga dyan.
Wala. Oo.
Okay na. Okay, game. So, syempre, sisimulan natin yung topic natin. When it comes to environmental change, guys, ano ang inyong backgrounds? Is it something related to environment? Or meron ba kayong advocacies that you are striving for right now, no, as youth leaders? Of course, no, youth leaders. So, simulan muna natin. Dane.
So, I'm Dane. Ang background ko talaga, I'm currently an assistant professor of biology and the current department chair of the Department of Biology in the University of the Philippines, Baguio. But I've been doing this environmental advocacy work, biodiversity conservation, climate change, sustainability work for almost 10 years. So I started doing this when I was probably 18 years old, and until now, yun pa rin yung ginagawa ko. So, I still consider myself young, so...
You are still young, yes. Very fresh, straight out of it, yes. And siguro, I think, nung nabasa din namin yung bio notes mo, no? You were a Chevening scholar, tama ba?
Wow!
So, recently I just came back from the United Kingdom for my master's in environmental management, and I was probably one of the youngest people in my cohort. So
yes, guys, very accomplished.
But it's the protecting and trying to preserve and conserve the environment that brought me to places. So I'd like to think na yun yung gawa sa akin ng Mother Nature.
Correct. Right. Gusto ko yung na yun, yung binigay sa akin ni Mother. Of course, ito ang aking time to shine bilang as a scholar. And yun nga, kakabalik mo lang from UK. So yun, welcome back. And of course, Jomar and Raven. So guys, tell me something about yourself, Raven.
Welcome din, no? Welcome schoolmates sa Baguio. From another scholar. I'm actually a student of Sir Dane. I'm Raven, a BA Communication major in journalism student in University of the Philippines, Baguio. And I am currently the chairperson of Inabuyog Gabriela Youth Metro Baguio. It is an organization of indigenous and non-indigenous women youth here in the city that fights for women's right to life, land, and resources. And actually, I'm also a member of Progressive Igorot for Social Action. So we are Igoros, indigenous people, or what we collectively call the indigenous people here in the Cordillera, that we actually forwards yung mismong karapatan ng mga Igorot dito sa kanilang ancestral domain or yung lupang ninuno nga na bilang mga, kasi we believe that indigenous people or tayong mga kaigorotan dito sa Cordillera, we believe that we are the stewards of the environment. Kaya actually, yun yung mismong principles of our organizations. Why do we campaign for environmental protection and ancestral domain here in the Cordillera region?
Thanks, Raven. No, so from someone nakakabalik lang from UK, meron din tayo na sobrang into the IP din involvement with when it comes to environmental matters. So Jomar, ikaw naman.
Hello everyone. Or gawis ay agu in Kankanay, or in Ibaloy we also state the term mapteng jagsafa. Or in short, a pleasant day for each and every one of us. So my name is Jomar, a development management student, and I'm also a climate reality leader under Algore, the Climate Reality Project under the United States of America. And similarly, I've also been a scholar of the YSEALI, the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative. And most importantly, one keynote that I have also advocated is of course the Disaster Risk Reduction Youth Ambassadorship under the Mapakalamidad.ph. At present, I'm into climate policy making as well as climate literacy. Yun naman po ang sa akin.
Ang ganda nung nila nung kumbaga yung keynotes nila and of course yung descriptions ninyo guys, because of course right now we wanted na yung mga kabataan they're very much well aware of the different disastrous effects na nangyayari sa ating bansa, kasi akala natin every year na lang ito nangyayari, okay na yan, sanay na tayo dyan. So we have youth leaders right here who are advocating for such at received actual full course education talaga when it comes to environment, because for some, talaga inisip na ano lang to, ang tawag doon, it's just an additional subject in college, diba? Parang, what do we call that? There's, in UP, diba, may tawag doon na, it's just additional subject. Yung electives, right, na parang additional part lang to ng course natin. So, hindi natin siya masyadong binibigyan ng importansya. So, okay, start na tayo sa ating full course question. Full course talaga kasi kakakain lang po namin talaga yun, So, yung first question natin is, when it comes to the involvement ng ating mga kabataan, ano sa tingin nyo yung current gaps when it comes to being involved ng mga kabataan sa usaping environmental matters, and especially right now na modernization is in full force, diba? So, simulan muna natin. Dane?
Well, for me personally, I think there's no enough space for young people to voice out their concerns. And I think doon nagkakaroon ng malaking gap and disconnect kasi we're also stakeholders, but we're also not given the right platform to actually advocate for these causes.
Okay.
So I think like being able to acknowledge that the youth will always play a crucial role in these causes, I think isa yun sa mga sagot kung paano natin masosolve yung mga issues like climate change, biodiversity loss, yung mga disasters na kinakaharap natin. I think mas maraming espasyo para sa mga kabataan para maipakita nila yung husay at galing nila when it comes to these advocacies. So,
ang ganda lang sinabi ni Sir na parang, it is true na parang hindi talaga sapat yung platforms para sa mga kabataan to move sa mga projects na gusto nila. And I think maganda rin na bagay siguro is yung mga kabataan na may initiatives.
Correct.
Kasi sobrang importante ng initiatives, especially ngayon na na wala nagte-take ng first step para masolusyonan yung isang bagay. So napaka-good thing ng initiative, and also yung mga projects na ibinibigay ng mga LGUs para na rin matulungan yung kabataan, and also the environment itself.
Meron akong tanong, guys. So, kayo, I would think that to the common students, normies, mga normies kagaya namin, yes, na matagal ng graduate. Wow! Nagkaalaman ng age. So, not a lot of people would consider it such a lucrative kind of profession or field of study. So, how did you get encouraged into taking this up as a full-fledged as a profession or a vocation even? Anong nagtulak sa inyo? Is it your environment? Your family? Simulan na natin kay Raven.
Ako, I will also answer this as a journalist, as a communication student. I think yung kaninang question then, I would agree that there's really a gap between doon sa professionals and then the people and the community. Kaya parang napakalaki ng importance right now ng environmental and science communications. And I think that's what as a youth, what would we really wanted to take action, kasi parang youth bilang isang mga kabataang may energy at kaya mag-explain nito ng karamihan, kasi very intimidating talaga yung concept of climate change when we discuss heat index and other concept pa ng environmental degradation sa whole climate change framework, ganun. So parang intimidating siya in the common people, especially if we really talk about doon sa mismong, ang nararamdaman lang nila ay yung mismong apektado ng bagyo, yung mismong natatanggalan sila ng kabuhayan, ganun. So I think yun yung isang one thing that the youth can fill in doon sa mismong gap na yun, yung pagta-translate ng science to the people. How do we really translate it that yung mismong scientific knowledge din ay napupunta doon sa practical nating mga everyday life. So I think ayun yung isa sa mga reasons why I wanted to join this, yung pagkakaroon ng responsibility mo bilang isang youth to propagate the information.
I-connect ko lang muna sa'yo, Raven. May sinabi ka na as a journalist, di ba? Kumbaga, marami kayong pinag-uusapan ng mga real-time events na nangyayari here in the Cordilleras. Meron ba kayong first-hand experience or na-cover na parang ito yung pinakamalalang climate change effect sa Baguio?
That you've witnessed.
Hindi na-cover as a journalist, pero organizations namin, meron kaming integration with the community, and one thing na pumunta kami sa Abra and then sa Kalinga during the summer time na napakalaki ng epekto ng El Nino, yung tagtuyot. At kitang-kita namin talaga, the community, tinatawag ngayon ng mga mothers doon, ng mga farmers din. Tinatawag nilang wala na silang palayan, ang meron na sila ay tiles, kasi yung mismo yung mismong palayan nila, yung rice field, ay bloke-bloke na dahil sa mismong climate change. Sa sobrang lakas ng epekto nito, yung kabuhayan mismo ng mga community natin ay kitang-kitang wala na silang mataniman kasi sobrang tagtuyot na.
Siguro yung follow-up question ko lang muna doon, no, James. When it comes to effects to the livelihoods of the not only the ITs, but even the other locals here in Baguio, is there a positive effect kaya na masasabi natin na nag-benefit sila with climate change? That's such an unpopular opinion, no? Pero meron kaya na nag-benefit dahil doon?
Sobrang difficult. Sobrang difficult question niya kasi ako, on top of my head, ang naalala ko ngayon kasi with the recent typhoon climates, diba? Karamihan talaga dun ay nasira talaga yung kanilang palayan because of the landslides sa Sagada, sa Malibcong Abra, sa Kalinga, sa Tabuk City. Tapos here in the Cordillera, one thing that ang pinakamalaking in the Baguio, malaking na apektuhan nung livelihood ay yung mga miners. Merong miners here sa Benguet, sa Itogon, ganyan, na hindi sila makapasok doon sa loob ng kanilang mga minahan, mga small scale miners kasi ito eh. So hindi sila makapasok doon sa mismong minahan dahil sa strong wind at baka mabagsakan sila ng mismong landslide. Kaya wala akong masyadong maisip na positive impact ng climate change sa Baguio. Especially, siguro, if we're gonna talk about it, syempre yung heights and lows of the climate, siguro sobrang lamig ng Baguio. So, nagiging popular pa siya bilang isang tourist spot dahil napakainit nga naman sa baba. So, baka ayun yung isang nagiging tulong.
Yeah. Actually, no 2019 nga daw, di ba? Parang yung record high or record low west temperature was like 9.8. So, sa sobrang lamig, ika nga. Kaya, dinadayo talaga yung Baguio as a summer capital here in the Philippines.